How's it going? My name's Scott. I'm the owner of this 1984 Toyota pickup SR5 4-wheel drive, super high option truck. We're just going to jump into the timeline. 1986, my aunt bought this truck from the original owner, Mike, from Sacramento. He bought it at the Florin Road Toyota dealership where his brother had worked. 2 years later, had a kid and couldn't use the truck the way he wanted to, so sold it to her. She owned it 27 years. She garaged it most of its life. About the last 7 years, she had it outside right before I got it. But she loved the truck. She had a short commute back and forth to work, so thus, only 108,000 miles. Pretty low for the year. She loved it. It was kind of like the weekend toy, just go cruise it around. Never really off-roaded it. I think she took it to the snow a few times, but nothing serious wheeling. Has always been a pavement princess since day one. Then, when I was 20, I was looking for a pickup at the time and maybe buy an S10 or something like that. Well, she still had this thing, so hey, Aunt Barb, let's make a deal. And finally came to an agreement. She sold me the truck when I was 20 years old, 2013. And I drove it for, about a year and a half. Used it as a little work truck. Nothing major, just little things, shovels and whatnot. But it needed one of everything. It needed brakes, it needed a timing set, it needed, seals. It just needed to be gone through. It needed TLC. It had been sitting and, it was time for a restoration. It was that time of its life. But 20-year-old kid, I couldn't afford it. There's just no way. It seemed like a mountain of work that just wasn't achievable at that time. A lot of people, sell it, just move on. It's more of a project than you need. Go buy some other truck, da-da-da-da. And I knew it was special. I knew it was optioned. The first day I brought it home, I'll never forget. My childhood friend, his uncle was at the house, and he was a car restoration guy as well. And he looked at the truck and just like, you can't destroy this thing. You can't wheel it. This thing is just, it's too clean. You'll regret it. And it just stuck with me. He threatened he'd kick my ass, so I was scared. So it just it had to be babied. It had to be loved, and I didn't have the skills either. So as a kid, I played with Legos. I was always building. It was always in my nature to just create things and build things. So a lot of YouTube, a lot of friends, working on different types of cars and this and that. I gained the confidence, the skills, the know-how to confidently say I am comfortable to restore this truck. Rewind the clocks 3 years ago, I contacted Paul at North Point Automotive in Chico, California, and he said, sure, I'll rent you a lift. It was kind of a friend of a friend. Good dude, and he just said, you know what, pay for the rent of the lift and bring beer, and I'll share my knowledge with you, and we'll knock this truck out. We'll get what it needs done. And that's how it started. It was just kind of a snowball effect. I feel like all projects like this, it's just you open it up and you're like, might as well do this, might as well do that, might as well throw a few more new parts at it. The list goes on, really. But at Paul's shop, the main goal was to get the chassis done because I don't have a lift here currently. It was, first it was just going to be bearings and seals and everything. Got the drive lines balanced, but then it's like, no, had the body lift on, I was going to take off, so it was easier to mask off the frame at that point. Sprayed the frame, came out great. It just kind of snowballed. It's like, you can't leave this rusty part right next to this painted part, so it just kind of paint this, paint that, put new bearings and everything, seals and everything. It's got a backing plate eliminator kit. It's got V6 brakes up front with the FJ80 rotors. It's got stainless lines. It's got Bilstein 5100s all the way around on each corner. It's got newer 311050 BFG ATs, factory wheels that I sourced. Yeah, I mean the list goes on. It's got all new AC components. It's a ready to go truck. I feel very comfortable in saying that it'll get down the road no problem. It was a labor of love. I have 500 to 700 hours. I really don't even know the exact number because I didn't even want to keep track. It was originally I was going to keep it. You know, it was going to be a forever thing. I went through a different couple phases with it within the 3 years. Really, I had a different set of wheels on it, black wheels that I really liked, 15x8, a little more offset, a little more aggressive, but drove it around like that. I had a dual DIN radio in it. I like the touchscreen. I like the modern and old. It's kind of a cool flair, but in the end, this truck, so highly optioned, it needed to be restored to stock-like specs in my book. This is my kind of take on what Toyota would have done back in '84, like a TRD package, you know, like with today's era, you buy all the bells and whistles with the new trucks, and that's the way it is. You know, these weren't that way. They were bare bones, stripped down, no AC, no power steering, crank windows, the bare bones. I mean, it got you down the road. It was a pickup. It was a viable vehicle. And that's what they built them for back then. This one was a little more bougie. It has power windows. It's got the equalizer radio, AC. It's got the 7-way adjustable seat, racing bucket seats with the center console instead of a bench seat. It's got the tachometer, SR5 gauges. It's got the AC, power steering, power brakes. I upgraded the brakes. I did differential vents for the front and rear axles, just so if you did go through a water crossing that was as high as the axle, it won't suck the nice cold water into your diff and make a bad day. Just little touches, you know. That's what Toyota should have done. That's just kind of the little flair that I have for it. It's the less is more mentality. I welded up a 2 1/4 inch mandrel bent exhaust that I custom made with a MagnaFlow muffler. It sounds nice and tame, super clean. It's like that, you know, TRD, what Toyota would have done. I didn't do something that stuck out, you know. The timelessness of this truck will be period for the rest of its life, for the rest of my life. That was kind of my idea. I didn't want something to be tacky or overlifted or too big of tires. I wanted you to be able to drive to Tahoe, have a good weekend, be able to overland it, you know, nothing crazy, rock crawl, you know, just have a good time, be out on the trail, have a secure rig that you know could get home. That is the goal, really. And keeping it with that, you know, stock flair to still give it that super vintage look. That was my main goal, you know. The extra stuff, I have a bunch of extra stuff that goes with the truck as well. I have a perfect dash that doesn't have any cracks in it. This original dash does. I mean, they all do, really. The only reason I did not swap that dash out was because I do not have the passenger AC vent replacement. The way that you pull the dash out, you got to pull the passenger AC vent out, 10 mil underneath. No other way to get to it. I can't pull out that vent. I didn't even really want to try. I didn't. Wasn't successful. But I also didn't want to chip it because irreplaceable parts. You know, this era of Toyota is hard to find interior parts for. Nobody really repops them, and if they do, they're in black. And that's not going to fly. That's not factory. So, kind of the way that goes. I also have a solid glass back window that's Toyota glass. It's been tinted to 15% to match, you know, without the shell on. It'll look pretty clean. I also have window switches. You know, this being power windows, good luck finding them. Super hard to find. It took me a while. To find good switches that were actually the right color because I bought a couple Corolla switches that they look similar, blue wasn't the right color, scrapped those, or resold them on eBay. But the truck will also come with the shell that's on it currently. It's a GT Gym Top from the same era. It was bought with the shell on it. It also comes with the bike rack. It comes with 2 Yakima bars that you can put on the drip rails of the pickup. Carry your bikes or kayaks or what have you. Limitless options, really. Even put light bar or something if that was what you desire. But I think that's about it for the truck. It's a clean one. The paint code's 2C7. It's medium blue and white. The options for the paint as well was the paint stripe instead of the graphic stickers. It's 100% paint. It does have the 3 pinstripe to break up the color, but that's about it. Full chrome package. It has the correct wheels, center caps, front and rear. I also made these little mud guard hold back the mud guards for the front. I thought it was a nice little touch. The wheels kept rubbing at full lock, so rubbing on the mud flap, that is, and just little touches that I deem necessary and TRD like. Nothing stands out. It's all very. You won't even notice it if you're not really a Toyota geek, really. But I get a lot of, now that the truck's done, how could you sell it? And it was kind of bittersweet at first. I really didn't want to get rid of it, but it's kind of an end of an era. I restored the truck. I really enjoyed it, but I would really like to restore more of these. I have a skill set that is needed. Not a ton of people are restoring these or restoring them correctly, and I can do it. This is what I want to do. This is what I live for. This is the quality of build that I produce, and everybody knows me for overkill. So that's my style, and everything's done the way that it should be. And it's time to move on. So I know there's somebody out there that would love to purchase this thing, and they'll love it just as much as I did and be a great custodian for it for the generations to follow. Really, thanks for tuning in. If you watched this far, thanks. There's other videos that you can check out, interior shots, engine bay shots. Gonna have a couple little drone videos. It's gonna be pretty cool. It's a good showcase for a special truck, because I don't know if it's 1 of 1 or 1 of 5. I don't have that information. I've looked for it and it's been skunked. I've talked to a lot of people across the United States in various junkyards or Toyota specific restoration places, be Land Cruisers or trucks themselves, but still kind of came up empty-handed. If you have any information, I would love to hear about it. Let's nerd out, and I'd love to hear what this truck really is. All the VIN information and stuff like that, Carfax, everything will be posted. There'll be a link in the description. Just keep an eye out. This truck will be for sale. It's currently for sale now, so accepting offers, and there might be a few internet websites I might try to sell it. Start off locally first. So thanks for tuning in, and stay tuned.